Hello guys, welcome to this brand new video. Continuing my series on discussing actual UPSC questions. And this video, this is the third video on a question from A Passage to India by E.M. Foster. I've done two more videos prior to this, discussed two questions. This is the third question that I'll be discussing on Passage to India. This is Harshit Bharadwaj. My name is Harshit Bharadwaj, as some of you probably know. This is my profile. I did my master's level education from University of Liverpool. I'm an author of a book by HarperCollins India. This is the title of the book on the screen. And I have been teaching English literature optional course at Unacademy for about a year now. Before moving any further, let's look at this Unacademy promo, which is a fantastic offer for all UPSC aspirants. So UPSC Unacademy is doing these T20 daily current affairs test series. So these are free test series for UPSC CSC candidates, and they are daily current affair test series. So you can take these tests every day. So what do you get in these test series? You get to practice the tests for current affairs every day, and these are created by top Unacademy educators. And there is a detailed analysis by top educators like Atish Mathur and Anand Agarwal. And the rankings of the test is also given, so you know how you've done. Test papers are available both in English and Hindi language. So there are 20 questions in every test, 20 minutes, 40 marks, daily at 7:30 p.m. and analysis sessions are also there. So analysis of your tests and a lot of inputs. So how do you enroll to these test series? Just download the Unacademy Learning app, which is free to download. If you don't already have one, register and sign. Again, it's free. Find out the test section, and in the test section you can see all the test sections, and enroll in this test series for free to take the test. There is these T20 daily test current affairs test series. You'll need to enter in a referral code, my referral code, to activate your free plan, right? So that's given in the next slide. So to unlock this experience for free and start learning, just use my code HERSH Harsh, and you'll get to do all these T20 tests for free every day. It's great practice and it doesn't cost anything, right? So why don't you go ahead and do it, guys? The question that we're gonna be doing today in this lesson is one of the primary concepts of Passage to India. And this question comes in many formats. This question can come like this. I'll read it out. Discuss the significance of the mosque, caves, and the temple section of A Passage to India by E.M. Foster. They can ask this question like this. It's a composite question. Or they can ask this question in parts. They can simply ask you the significance, symbolic significance of the mosque section, or at the cave section, or the temple section. For example, for the cave section, they have asked what happened at the caves. That question has come. That's an actual UPSC question. For the temple section, they have asked how is the temple section architecturally necessary for this text. So this question in itself is covers a lot of ground. So it's a composite question. So I'll discuss all these areas one by one. As I said, this is a composite question and it includes all the areas of the text. So what do you need to include? What ideally you should be including in your answer is, first of all, you should be commenting upon the tripartite structure. Why this structure in three parts? There is a very famous novel structuring method called the three-act story. So you can, it's up to you. I mean, you need to comment upon why it works as a three-part text, how it completes the story. So you need to comment upon the tripartite structure. Then you need to comment upon symbolic significance of each section: mosque, caves, and temple, one by one. So ideally, four parts of this answer should be there. Yeah. So when we are talking about all these four parts, the first one would be comment upon the tripartite structure that you need to start your answer with. How these parts all work together. Why E.M. Forster picked these parts? Mosque, caves, and temple. Why in this order? Why mosque comes first? Why temple comes at the end? Why caves in the middle? I will not put words in your answers. Like I will not be telling you the answer. Obviously, I'll just be giving you some hints and I'll trigger your ideas. So start thinking like this: why the mosque section comes at the front? Why the story starts with the mosque section? And why the temple section comes in the end towards the closer? And does the temple section close the text? And why caves is right in the middle, right? So is it like the action builds up towards the crescendo of the cave section and something happens in the cave section? Obviously, you know what happens in the cave section. The Adela quested and Dr. Aziz scene. So do you think the action builds up in the cave section and then it gradually comes down? Even if you look in terms of the weather in the text. So in the mosque section, it's nice weather and people come together, right? And in the temple section, it's raining and people go away. So I'll talk about all these in the next parts. So if I talk about the mosque section, some ideas to explore are why the novel starts with the mosque section. In chapter 1, there is no character in chapter 1. The character that's introduced in chapter 1 of this text is the city of Chandrapur, right? There is nothing, that's how it starts. And there is nothing extraordinary about the city of Chandrapur. That's how the chapter 1 starts. And how it ends, there is nothing extraordinary about the caves, which are a good 20 miles off the city of Chandrapur. So chapter 1 is all about introducing India to the audience. Chapter 2 starts with three friends, Hamid Ali, Hamidullah, and Dr. Aziz, discussing whether it is possible to be friends with the Britishers. That question kind of remains with the characters throughout the text, ultimately getting an answer on the very last page of the text. What happens in the mosque section? People come over. Mrs. Moore, Adela Quested, comes over from England. Uh, there is a lot of gathering of people. There is Cyril Fielding's tea party. There is Burton's party. So people come together. That is something what for me a mosque symbolizes. Mosque symbolizes where people come together for a common cause. It's more harmonious. So the mahal of section 1, the mosque section, is more harmonious. Even the weather wise, it's a little more harmonious. People are trying to know each other, trying to get to understand each other. The friendships are being made. Dr. Aziz, Cyril Fielding, Dr. Aziz, Mrs. Moore. So think of all that happens in the mosque section and what is the symbolic significance in the overall structure of the text. You need to think of all these. Okay, one of the most intriguing section is the cave section. The action, the major action of the entire text happens in the cave section. So uh, primarily there is only one major action in the text, which is the cave incident with Miss Adela Quested, and then the court case and the trial of Dr. Aziz. That's the major action around which everything else revolves. How do you read that incident? Uh, what does that incident tell you about uh, E.M. Foster's understanding of India? Because from that incident, a lot of inferences are drawn. So, cave section, caves signifying something dark, something mysterious, something known, all the things that are associated with India, a mystical, mysterious, dark land that uh, people want, Westerners want to understand, but are unable to. And there are misapprehensions, misunderstandings. For example, Mrs. Moore, she tries earnestly to understand India, but at the caves, her ignorance or her confusion with her own spirituality gets amplified, right? And she goes back confused and never makes it to England, and she dies on the way. Uh, Miss Adela quested her own confusions, her own little problems of of her own life, echoed back to her in an amplified state, causing hallucination or a confused state of mind or whatever. So the cave section is the section which is which I read as E.M. Foster's take on how the Western mind understands India, right? Understands or fails to understand India, right? It's an important section. The temple section is the last section. In an interview, E.M. Foster himself said that the temple section was architecturally important for the text to complete. Now, why is that? You should think, why is that? And you should ask, how does this section work as a final section? Why not the first or the second? And how does it complete the text? These are the things you have to ask yourself. And what happens in the temple section? So in the mosque section, people who come around gather. In the temple section, they are scattered. They go away. Cyril Fielding goes back to England. Adela Quester is already gone. Dr. Aziz and Professor Godbole also, they have left Chandrapur and they're living in the state of Mau. And the people are celebrating Janmashtami, Gokulashtami, where it's rainy season. And the god, Professor Godbole, in the first part, has he invoked God to come. The bhajan that he sings in the in the Feeling Tea Party, he invoked the God to come, and in the temple section, God come. But does that solve any problem? Does the coming of the God solves any problem? And also, the question that was posed in the mosque section by the three friends, whether it's possible to be friends with the Britishers, that question is also answered in this section and on the very last page. So think of all these things and write your answer. Okay. Good luck. I hope this little video help you. Based on your comments, I'll keep making these specific question based videos so that you get some ideas to start writing your answers. Good luck and thanks for watching. This is Harshit Bharadwaj signing off.